So do you feel like you're struggling to make improvements on the bass, that you're kind of stuck in this beginner phase, or you just can't groove the way you want to? Well, you're not alone. And in this video, what I'm going to do is break down 3 mistakes that I think a lot of bass players are making. More importantly, we're going to talk about how we're going to fix them. And also, if you want to speed up your progress, I got a free PDF guide. I'll tell you how to get that in a minute. Okay, so mistake number 1 is practicing without a plan, without having a game plan, a plan of attack, if you will. What happens a lot to not just beginners, but bass players in general, is that they'll just start noodling around on the bass. Playing like whatever, scales or bass lines, and just kind of like flying around. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a good idea to enjoy your instrument, have fun with it. That's actually one of my tips. However, if you want to see real progress, you're going to have to add some time where you're really showing a lot of intention in your practice. So an example might be if we take, say, a 15-minute block, first 5 minutes we're going to just spend on our technique, not moving any farther till we've perfected, say, a scale, and using your metronome so you're working on your time, right? Rather than just blasting through it, making sure you're hitting each note, making sure your intonation is spot on, that kind of intention, that kind of focused energy. And then second 5 minutes might be working on your rhythmic concept, or working on just keeping the time, or counting beats, right? Or feeling the quarter notes. Any kind of rhythmic exercise, whatever's challenging you the most, even just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, things like that, right? And maybe that third segment is listening to a tune that you're trying to get the bass line to, or trying to get the feel of, really trying to pick out those notes, trying to hear what the bass is doing, and spending a dedicated amount of time just doing that. Again, allow yourself time to enjoy the instrument, because let's face it, if we're not having fun, who wants to do this anyways? Okay, mistake number 3 is not focusing on the groove, not focusing on the feel, and just doing metronome-based scale work or chord work. Nowadays, it's so easy to get a drum machine. At the very least, you can always get a metronome, but there's really no excuse now to not be able to get some kind of beat generator. But I think a drum machine's cool because you can kind of hear the whole kit and try to fit into it. So here's an example that you can do using just kind of a really laid back drum beat. And what I'm going to do is just work on building a bass line using the A minor chord or the A minor scale, but pulling from that the A minor chord, the A minor 7 chord. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to use a little groove here I got on the GarageBand, and then I'm just going to work on piecing out my bass line, not really thinking too much about the scales or anything, just the chord notes, the A, the C, the E, and the G, and trying to make a groovy bass line with that. So I could do this with all kinds of concepts, right? I can just stay in that chord, maybe change the feel. Or add another chord, maybe E minor. Oops, cheated. So again, you can take this concept with chords, with scales. Maybe you want to work your scale, but figure out what sounds like a good bass line, not just running up and down the scale, but trying to get into the feel versus just playing the notes. Now, the third mistake that a lot of bass players make, and by the way, all these I've done and still do sometimes, but the third one is getting in your head while practicing, getting emotional about your practice, comparing yourselves to others, right? Thinking too much about all the theory that you don't know, or thinking about how you're not as good as this person, or you're not learning this fast, or whatever it is. This kind of mental talk can really hold you back. The trick is to try to get yourself that focused on that 1% improvement. Enjoy the process of it, but really be cautious of when you catch yourself hyper focused on what you're not good at. And I've done this way too much, but I think a lot of players do this. They get worried about how much theory they don't know or how hard theory is. The thing to focus on right now as a beginners, try to listen and pick up bass lines, learn the basic scales, learn the major scale, learn the chords that come out of the major scale. Your dominant 7 chord, your major 7 chord, your minor 7 chord, or just those triads, right? By the way, in our bass corner, our free online community, I've got lessons on this to help you start understanding chords. But the point is that you don't want to get too focused on what you don't know, what you're not doing, because that'll spiral and that will hold you back from your own progress and your own enjoyment. If you don't enjoy it, you're not really going to progress. You're not going to progress the way you want. Okay, so a recap, guys, we're talking about 3 major things that we can do to help with our progress. 1, practice with a plan. 2 is practice the groove, practice the feel. Take a scale, take a chord, try to change the groove. Use your metronome or use a drum machine and try to feel that bass line versus just playing the notes. And then number 3, avoid the self-negative talk, right? Avoid the comparison and focus on enjoying the process of learning the bass. So I hope this helps, guys. Let me know what your big obstacles are in the comment section. Grab that free PDF guide, 10 tips on overcoming these obstacles. And also you can join our community. It's called the Bass Corner. It's free. We'd love to have you in there. That's the deal. So I hope this video helps, guys. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you in the next video.